Okay.
All right, we're online. We're
Right. Good
live.
morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to DLTC Global Signals. Uh, Today, we're just going to be doing signals. We're not teaching anymore. This is sort of a preview of what's to come for next year. Like I said, we're trading one of four companies. We're trading Apple, NVIDIA, QQQ, and AMD. We don't have an active trade as of yet, so we're just waiting for something to set up right now. Okay. Okay, let me see here. You might hear me humming. I'm just getting ready to do my thing here. Okay. Just trying to do what I normally do every day, just doing it in signals format. Okay. Okay, right now I'm looking at AMD. I'm not saying that there's a signal. I'm just saying that one is setting up on AMD right now. You see what the contract price is. The
Looking
premium.
for a call.
Yep, looking for a call on AMD. That's correct. I mean, like I say, sometimes they can take a minute to set up. AMD, looking at these calls are already
Yeah, they're pretty high.
pretty expensive. So let's go to the 230. It's 239. That's okay. Let me backtrack a little bit. Okay. I got beside myself there. Okay. Okay, so what it looks like for AMD. Okay, let me do this. These contracts are probably out of most people's range, so we're going to pass on AMD. But had we gotten into AMD, it's already gone. But we didn't get in because the contracts are very expensive. They're like $8. Want to make sure that people are able to trade, and not because of you're stuck in price, because of the price. Okay, you're priced out, so to speak. Okay. We're looking at the QQQ strike price of 106.34. Call. Wow. Okay. I'm in. You see here.
Let me know when to get in.
Okay.
The 634 call you said?
Yeah, 634. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. These together, like I said, we gotta be honest, a little nervous. Even though I do this every day, it's still a little nervous. Okay. Let's see here.
I'm so
Okay.
excited. I'm shaking.
Okay. Okay. It might take a little while to get the butterflies out myself. Thing just went right in the opposite direction here. Some kind of turned around on the opposite direction. It happens to keep your viewers a really fast option in a trade. Okay, my Apple's setting up. Okay, I'm gonna go over to Apple. Something setting up on Apple.
Call or put?
It's gonna be a call. You guys know when I get in. 270 price. Like I said, it's pretty boring because you got to wait for these positions to open up. Can you hear those alert signals?
Nope.
Okay, good. Certainly not fast and furious. Like the open, when we get in on the open, things are just moving so fast. But it's a little slower than it is. You actually have to wait on positions to open up. I'm actually seeing I've got, okay, I see what's going on. Get myself together here. Okay. Oh boy.
Let me know when to get in. Can't
I'm
hear you
getting
well.
in right now. I'm getting in right now. Okay. Okay, I'm getting in and I'm getting out.
I missed that one. It really went up.
Yeah, so in
Excuse
and
me.
out. Yeah. Let me see, I got in at, let me tell you what I got in at. I got in at, okay. I got in at 182. I got out at 185. I'm also in and out of my queue. I got in triple Q when I said I was. I got out of that. So we're 2-0 so far. Okay, now that I got out on a scalp, guys. So if you're all the money, I'm going to call this trade until the first pre-signal. And then after the first pre-signal, I'm going to track it to the first pre-signal, and then you'll be able to make a decision about whether or not to get out. So right now, it's still in play if you're waiting on the triggers. Okay, I feel good now. I'm in the game now, guys. It took me a minute to get in the game, but I'm in the game.
Let's take a look at
Okay.
it and see how far. Wow, it's really up.
Yeah. What's it up so far?
It's up like $30.
Okay, good. So let's see here. No signal yet to get out. Let's see. Now remember, I'm using the Heiken ashy candles, guys. So you might see something different on your regular candles. If you're in a position, and remember, it's up to you whether or not to scalp. I can't tell you when to get out of this position. All I'm doing is showing you my trades when I get out of a position, when I get in and out of a position. I've been in 2 trades since 10 o'clock, one on both of them. So far, 2-0 for the signals.
Yes.
I was a little nervous, I'm not gonna lie,
But
because this is,
awesome.
yeah, the first day of signals. So this one is still in play. We are seeing some red candles on the regular candles, but still green on the hike and ashy. So, okay, let's go there. Like I said, I'll let you guys know when we get that first pre-trigger. I have already been in and out of this position. I scalp. I'm a scalper. So when you scalp, you're gonna have more wins, not as much return, but you can have multiple wins versus scalping sometimes. Excuse me, all the money trades sometimes can go against you, or you can really win really big. So it's sort of a trade-off, really. But you have to determine what type of trader you are, not me. I can't do that for you. Still don't have that first pre-trigger yet.
Yeah,
I'll
my
let you,
contract didn't fill either because it really shot up after you called that signal.
yeah, yeah, that
Yeah.
happens. That
Mhm.
happens. That's why you're calling, you're buying, and I'm getting in, because if I were to do both, what would happen is I would do the same thing most of the time. And so I wouldn't be able to show people, no, he actually did exactly what he said. He got in and got out on the trade that he called. So that's why we're doing it like this, because when you're trading, you really, you have to really be focused, and even the slightest thing can distract you. So I appreciate Mrs. Crystal coming in, helping and doing what she's doing. Okay, still no trigger. I know some of you guys are still in this position thinking, oh my goodness. So I know you guys are excited about this. Is how many people are still in this position? You can put your hand up if you kind of determining what type of trader you are. Okay, and then all right, let's do it. Let's do it. Good, good, good. I'll let you guys know when I get that first trigger. Let you know. Still nothing. Okay. 2 for 2 so far. We got some all the money traders still. They're going for the bag. Hopefully we got some special effects to show people waiting for the bag. You got your scalpers and you got your all the money traders. I've been in and out of this position. How many of you got in and out on a scalp on this Apple trade? You can raise your hands. You can also chat, I believe, on the Facebook or the YouTube. You can actually chat in the actual Zoom. Is that true, Mrs. Crystal?
That's right.
Okay. Wow, this thing is blowing up. It's blowing up. Okay, so now I'm starting to get loose. I'm starting to have some fun. All right. All right, let's do it. Still no sign to get out of this bad boy. Still going up, all the money. Keep an eye on your percentages, guys. Keep an eye on your percentages. Now remember, I got in and out somewhere down here. So I'm in and out. I'm calling the triggers on this. We don't have a pre-trigger yet. I will let you know when we get a pre-trigger. Okay. It's getting pretty close to looking like a pre-trigger. Okay. I'm trying to not jump the gun on a trigger, pre-trigger, because I want you guys to make as much as you can on this trade. Okay. So you see, I was getting close, but then it turned around and went up on me. So doing our thing here, but we are getting close to a pre-trigger. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. Give me a second. I'm not gonna call the pre-trigger yet. I'm getting a little anxious. I'm not even in the trade, but I'm getting anxious. Okay, okay. Hit the pre-trigger right now. So I'm gonna put the pre-trigger up right now. Pre-trigger is the sign before we actually get a signal, which means it's starting to look weak, but there's no signal yet. So the next trigger will be the first trigger. we got the pre-trigger out the way. Now we're waiting on the first trigger. The first trigger will, where I actually see an exit, the first trigger to get out of the position if you're all the money. So you're just waiting. And this is all part of building up your risk tolerance. Because remember, I got in here and out. A lot of you guys are still in this position, so you got a much better percentage than I did. Did you put the line up on the pre-trigger, Mrs.
Yeah, hold on.
Okay. The pre-trigger was
The
at
pre-trigger was right here.
10:15.
10:15. Hold on.
Put that vertical line up there. Yep.
All right, hold on.
Okay. So there you go. That's the pre-trigger. She's annotated the pre-trigger. We haven't had a first trigger. Looks like we're about to get our first trigger though. Okay. Yep, we're about to get our first trigger here. We're gonna wait. We got about 14 more seconds, and we're gonna be able to call the first trigger. The first trigger. I'm getting excited. I can't talk. Okay. Yeah, looks like we're gonna get it. Okay, first trigger. My first trigger. Now we can wait for the second trigger. I'm not going to go to the third trigger because it could take a while. I don't want to stuck on one trade. For first trigger, pre-trigger, we've seen a pre-trigger, we've seen the first trigger, we're still waiting on the second trigger. So the reason we do this is so that you can develop your risk tolerance to sort of, that will let you know what type of trade. It'll let you see the difference in the return. Scalping, first trigger, pre-trigger, first trigger. It's been a good day for me. 2 trades, 2 wins. It's been a beautiful day. Oh my God, that apple is 208 now. I got out at 182. So, okay, and it's turning up. It's 211 now.
Ooh.
So, yeah, so pre-trigger, first trigger. Now we're still waiting on the second trigger. Annotate this in my thing. Okay. My pre-trigger. I know that Mrs. Crystal is doing this, but I'm doing it on my chart too.
We put some music up for the Facebook people.
So now it's 2:15. I got out down here at, let me see, 185 at 10:09. So I got out here 185 at 185. And now it's 221. So you can see the more risk you're willing to take, the higher your return. So Mrs. Crystal, do you know what the pre-trigger premium was?
I didn't track that one.
Okay.
I don't know if
anybody
anybody
get? Yeah, I'm sure. Did anybody get out on a pre-trigger? And if you did, what was your premium?
The pre-trigger?
The pre-trigger. Yep.
Some people are saying 208, 207.
Okay.
So now it's 227.
Okay. So those of you who got out at 207, I got out at 185. So that, or excuse me, 189. Let me make sure I got all my receipts. In case y'all like, he ain't really trading. I got out at 185. I got in at, let's see, 182. So you can see the difference in the return, the more risk you take on. Now, if you're waiting for the second trigger, it's up at 232. So that's from where I got in at 185 to 232. That is an enormous up return, right? I don't like to take risk. I'm a scalper. I'll scalp 10. Right now, I'm scalping about 13 times a day. So I'm going to get my return. I'm going to get my 30% daily return. I'm just not going to get it all on one trade. So it's important that everybody understand the pre-trigger, the first trigger, the second trigger. We probably won't be able to do the third trigger because sometimes that can take a while. And by that time, there's usually another position that we can get in. So if everyone, I did get in on that QQQ. I know you guys heard me. It did go against me. I just waited it out and got out with the profit. So I never got a signal to get out of that position. And that's why I stayed in it. So the Apple call, though, is a perfect example of how DLTC Global Signals works. A perfect entry. And now it's up 237. Is anyone still in waiting for the second trigger? I hope someone is still in.
It's just money, raining money.
Yeah. More money, more money, more money. Now, for those of you who are watching on Facebook and YouTube, if you look up in the right corner, you'll see a QR code. Go ahead and sign up for some classes. Go ahead. If you are part of our system already and you have a team lead, get with that person. Okay. But if you're not in our system, you don't have anyone that you're working with within our system, get with them. And beware, everyone's going to tell you they're working in our system. Do not fall, don't be a jelly donut. Reach out to me and I'll tell you whether or not that person is in our system. Okay. Before you start spending money. It's not a lot of money. It's $10 a day, guys. As you can see, it's the real deal. Right? Is there anyone on the call still in waiting on the second trigger? It's a perfect call today. We might have to end it with this, Ms. Crystal. We did such a wonderful job. We gave people a taste of how this works. We fulfilled our obligation to the people who paid for this week. Okay, for those of you watching via Facebook and social media, you cannot sign up for this week. This is a test week, but in January, we start this every day. We do this every single day. Well, Monday through Friday. Hopefully, we'll do it on the weekends with Bitcoin. I don't know. I can't promise anything on that. But Monday through Friday, this is what we do. This is how we make our money. For all of the naysayers, the doubters, the people who are out there saying, hey, they can't really trade. Well, now you have proof. We do this every single day, Monday through Friday. So if you like what you see, you don't need to know anything about the markets. We give you 5 presentations to get you ready to be able to trade. So when you come into January, you can do the same thing that the other folks did here today. You're reading through the chats. You're seeing people making 20%, 25%. So if you're interested, and you can always click on that or take a picture of that hashtag or that QR code, you can sign up. If you're already in the system or someone referred you to the DLTC Global Signals, get with them. Now, don't just give anybody money, right? You're still going to be sending the $10 to the same person, but to the same site, but we want to make sure people get their credit. We want to make sure that we build an affiliate program where people can take care of their families. So hopefully that makes sense there. Now you see what all my Facebook family, now you see why I get so much hate from some people, because they don't want you to know about this skill. They want you to deal with them and pay them. But this, now you get to see, okay, he knows what he's doing. I haven't had a loss in months. It's been a long time since I've had a loss. I'm about 98.5% since August the 1st, since we started really testing. So make a decision. Now you know how it works. It's 230 now is what this was. I got out at 185. I got in at 182. I got in right around here, 182, right here, 182. It's 230 right now. Miss Crystal, is there anybody still in this position? Did anybody raise their hand?
Yes, there are about 4 people still in the position.
Okay. We're starting to get, I'm going to go ahead and call this second trigger right here. Now, I could be early, it could be reversed, but I don't want, what I'm trying to avoid is a big red candle. It takes you out the game, puts you out of the profit. So this looks like it's going to be the second trigger. We won't know until this candle closes, but I would probably take my money and get on up out of here. Right now it's 220. I got out at 187 or 185 or something. So you're fully in the profit. You're fully in the profit. So there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that was fun, wasn't it? That is the second trigger. So you can put second trigger up. And that went from 230 down to 214. Yep, that we saw a second trigger. There we go. Now, we're not going to do a third trigger because this thing could turn around and run back up, and that could take another 30, 40 minutes. It took about 20 minutes for us to get in this position and see this position through to the second trigger. The second trigger was at 1025, Ms. Kristen. So you can tag 1025.
1025.
Yes, ma'am. So that was a nice run up. What's the percentage on that? Let me see where I got it. I'll tell you where I got in. And we can do all of the. I got in at 182. And I think you said the first people said they got out at what, 206, 207 on the pre-trigger?
Yes, they said 207, 208.
Okay. And the second trigger, the second trigger, the first trigger is probably a little bit less than that. The second trigger was 217. So if you take on a little more risk, you're going to usually get more reward. Remember, I got out at 187. So if you got out right now, you would still be at 206, which is way more than what I made. But let's not make it about what you make. Let's make it about if you're in signals. It's about three things. And I'm glad we got the Facebook on. I'm glad we got the YouTube on. It's about listening, following instructions, and executing. Once you're in a position, then it's up to you to know what your trigger is. We got remember the pre-trigger, the first trigger, the second trigger, and the third trigger. We didn't even make it to the third trigger today because it would have taken us a while. It can take a while for that third trigger to present itself. So we're not going to stick around for the third trigger. Does anybody have any questions specifically about signals? Not about trading, not about option, not about contracts. We're not teaching anymore. Does anyone have any questions about what they witnessed today on signals?
All right. Looks like we have Jennifer Johnson first.
Okay, go ahead. You can answer the questions, if you don't mind. If you don't mind.
Sure. Miss Jennifer Johnson, are you able to unmute yourself?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi.
Hello. I'm here with my husband, actually, Mr. T. My husband took his vacation this week to do this.
Okay, outstanding.
Congrats.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Fine,
Hello.
sir. How are you?
Doing well.
So we did what was it, 50% on this trade?
Wow.
Wow.
Yes,
Money,
we got
money,
in
money,
at
money.
180.
Yes.
We got in at 183 and got out at 232.
Money,
job.
money, money, money.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. I'm glad. And thanks for sharing that with us too, because, over the years, people say they just don't, even though people have gotten free through the system, they still don't believe. They're so skeptical. So thank you for sharing your testimony. We appreciate it for you.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you, Mr. T.
For real.
Yeah. All right. So let's see who's next. Mr. Eric.
Yes, good morning. How are you doing, Mr. T?
Good morning.
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. So I was just trying to get the definitions of all of your, I guess the nomenclature. So pre-trigger would be the first trigger to get out.
Yeah, that's a great word, nomenclature. I've heard that since I've been in the Army. It's broken down into really four different what we call triggers, and a trigger is just an exit signal using the DLTC global signals techniques. The pre-trigger is what I see before the actual trigger, right? Before the first trigger. The first trigger is, okay, there's a signal to get out of this position. It's the signal that it's not the safest. The pre-trigger is the safest when it comes to risk. The first trigger is, okay, it's a legit signal. It's not a guess, it's a signal. The second signal is, okay, it's an even more pronounced signal than the first. And the third trigger is, okay, you better get your butt out this trade because it's looking like it's going to turn around. So what we're trying to do is help people develop their risk tolerance, right? If you're nervous, then you might want to get out on the pre-trigger. If you say, well, I can take a little bit of risk, then you wait for the first trigger. And then if you're like, well, I'm up, this is a good example. Today was a great example of what happened because people were up 20, 30%. So they felt, okay, I can take a little bit more risk. Let me wait on that second trigger. And then it just ran up. It kept running up. And then they waited on the second trigger. By that time, it had run up like 20 cents or maybe 15 cents. And then they got out on the second trigger, right?
Okay. So that's all nomenclature for selling, but what's the nomenclature for, or what's your words for buying?
Well, words for buying, I'm just going to say, okay, I mean, like I did today. I'm saying, today was a perfect DLTC signal. That's why we're going to cut it off now so people can take it in bite size, but I'm going to answer all the questions. Usually when I see something happening, I see it before it happens, right? And I think I said it's setting up. Okay, I mean, then I jumped in. Now on the QQQ, you can go back and say, I said I'm in, and then it went automatically against me. Now, Miss Jera, if we were together, just the two of us, because she helped test the system, she would have said, Mr. T can't do that. And that was not the safest signal. But I was nervous. I just wanted to get in and you know, like I said, I have butterflies. I don't know why I do this every day, but I did. So it went against me. I didn't panic. I didn't get a signal to get out of that position. And then 5 minutes later, I got out. I recouped, got myself together. The Apple trade was perfect. It was a perfect signal. And but you're never going to hear me say we got a pre-trigger to get in a position. I'm just going to explain, okay, it's setting up. Okay, I'm in.
Okay, so would we, I mean, if we're high risk on the sell, is there a high risk on the buy when you're saying setting up, maybe the second time you say setting up?
That's a great question. And the reason I'm not going to do that is because but that is a great question. And Ms. Jerry and I have talked about this. My son and I have talked about this. Signals has to be so amazing that people know that when I say, okay, I'm in, they can trust that and get in too. If I do risky trades, then what could happen is it could go the other direction like it did with the QQQ. I should not have done that. I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. I should not have done that. But it turned out there wasn't a signal to get out. It wasn't the safest trade. Like I said, I had butterflies. I recovered, regrouped, got another signal, a perfect signal on Apple. But when it comes to entry, what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep that risk down to a minimum. Okay. Right. And I know that you know we like risk. And today was the first not real day of signals, but you know, we're broadcasting out to Facebook and YouTube. So I want to be as safe as I can on the entry and then let people make their own mind up on the exit. I'll tell them the triggers. It's up to them to develop their risk tolerance based on, as you say, the nomenclature of the triggers. So hopefully
got it. Yep. Awesome. Thank you so much and congrats.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Ms. Crystal, do we have any other questions? Because I'm not looking at
yes.
Zoom. I'm
Angela Hodge.
Okay. Good morning, Miss Angela. Miss Angela? Okay, maybe she's on mute.
Maybe she should be able to unmute herself.
Okay.
Hi, Mr. Cheat. I was actually an accident. I'm just listening and observing.
Well, I'm glad it was you, Miss Angela.
Yeah, it's me. I'm just here observing. Okay.
I'm not trying to put your business out in the street, but based on our conversation this morning, do your best setting that up. And if you run into any problems that you can't work through, give me a call. I can make sure that you're where you need to be, but I just want you to try to figure it out on your own. And this has nothing to do with signals, guys. But she's in the last DLTC trading class. But the information that you asked me for is in that class over and over and over and over and over and over. So take a look at it. And then if you still struggle with it, reach out to me.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Mrs. T.
You're welcome to see me. Any other questions when we get out of here? And if you're observing on Facebook or YouTube, you can, ask a question on there too. I think. Like I say, I'm not on those. I'm looking at my charts. And typically what I would wait for another signal. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is Donovan Smith. A
Hello,
quick
Donovan.
question. This is very exciting. When you gave the signal to enter into Apple, for some reason mine didn't fill for the first 30 seconds. So I canceled it. Should I have re-entered into it, or should I just wait for the next signal?
I'm gonna let Mrs. Crystal tell you this because the exact same thing happened.
I am unable to take it. I'm so sorry. I'll be right back.
Oh, that's okay. No, you should never chase a trade.
Thank
That's the easiest way to say that, because we're just getting into
Absolutely.
signals. And when we start trading, guys, and when we take the cap off of signals in January, we're probably going to get 20, 25, 30 trades a day. So you'll never be in a position where you have to worry about missing a trade, right? And I'm confident that we'll work out our Forex issues. I'm confident. And once we do that, then you'll be able to get in and get trades all day, either in the market. I like hard shares and I like options, and I like to trade the NBA, but that's a whole different story. But when we get signals up and running, you'll have access to probably 40 trades a day where you can get in and make money. And most of those trades are going to be active because they're kind of based on the DLTC system. But they're sort of, how can I put this? The signals is a different technique, but it has a lot of the DLTC in it. So you never have to worry about missing a trade or chasing a trade, because I've had 11 signals since we got out of this trade. So we could have jumped in on about 8 of those. So don't even worry if you missed it. I wanted everyone to see how it works, and I wanted to just put my toe in the water today. So hopefully that answers your question, Brother John.
Yes, it did. I was confident not to chase it. I
Good
felt
job.
very confident.
Good job, brother. Don't chase nothing. Yes, sir. And that's for those of you who are listening who aren't very familiar with trading, you never want to chase anything, right? And I don't want to get on here and go down rabbit holes, but I've taught a lot of people how to trade. Most people can trade. It's just all about, you guys have heard me say this a million times, about mind frame and framework. And the framework of trading is not doing things like chasing trades, not doing things like being too greedy. Once everyone solves those problems, then trading actually becomes pretty easy.
Crystal's not seeing my hands raised. She's not.
Okay, I
I'm
see.
seeing more hands. I put now allowing people to talk. So there's a line of people who have their hands up. I'm just trying to address them. All right. So let's see who's next. Akina.
Hi, how are you guys?
Hi.
So my question is, I too missed the mark. I did not get in on the Apple trade, and wondering, and I didn't chase it, of course. So wondering, we going to do another one, or are we done for today?
We're probably done for the day because I want to answer some questions, and we could literally trade like 15 times today, but I don't want to overwhelm people. I just want people to see it. I want people to sort of run through it. And tomorrow maybe we'll do 3 trades. But just know that come January, and I know your DLTC, and it's important that you reach out to me, by the way.
Yes.
Next year in January, we'll start at 9:30, and we could run this. I'm not making any promises. And a lot of you have heard me say this, but there's a chance, a possibility that we run this all day. And what that means is you're going to have lots of trades. You're going to have more trades than you can shake a stick at. So to those of you who have missed that trade, and the reason why you missed it is because the entry was too good. You got in right before it took off, and then it just took off and ran up to about 230 or 235. So yeah, this is probably going to be the only trade we take today in signals, and I'll probably close it down too and go run some errands. And I don't have anything to do. I actually do have something to do, but it's not pressing on me. I just don't want to turn it into one of those things where people are getting a little too excited.
Okay.
But you can always trade DLTC, so you can always
Yes.
jump back in DLTC.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, next on the list we have Miss Jennifer Johnson again. Hi.
I'm so sorry. I think my hand is still raised from when he said, raise your hand if you're still in. You could
No
disregard
problem.
me.
No problem. Rosemary Harrington? Rosemary Harrington?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. T and Sister Crystal. There's one question that I have to ask. That you guys were on this morning. Was it a 1 minute chart? Because it was kind of a bit different from what I had on the computer when I was home. Right now I'm on my way to work, but I'm just asking the question.
Yeah, it was a 1 minute chart. Yes, ma'am. Now, if you're having chart issues tomorrow morning in our lives, just let us know then, and we'll sort of sync your chart with the DLTC chart.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. The NVIDIA chart. Yes, Dr. Right?
Oh no, we were trading Apple. We traded Apple. We traded.
Oh, that's why. Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Yes, very well.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Looks like Jennifer Johnson wants to join. Okay, good job. 50% today. Okay. Good. Is anybody else? Miss Crystal, I'll answer. Miss Crystal's probably busy.
Yes. I'm sorry. I have a lot going on.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll answer
That
questions.
We achieve is next.
Okay. You go ahead and do what you're doing. I'll answer some of these questions. We have someone in the chat that wants to sign up. I'll take over the questions here and then knock these questions down. Okay. So together we achieve. How can we help you to do?
Hi, good morning, guys.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. and Miss Crystal. So, this is Eliana, right?
Okay, good morning. Miss
Yeah,
Eliana.
it's just under another name by accident on
It's all
purchasing. So unfortunately, I got messed up on that QQQ call, so I thought it was a call. So I
It was a
lost
call.
something on there, but and so I just kind of just stepped back and just observed on Apple. So I did not get in on the Apple because I was just kind of sitting back and say, all right, let me just observe today. Yeah, so I was wondering, is it possible to do one more?
No, I don't want to do that. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll actually have lots of trade between the time tomorrow and the time we get on today. I just don't want to encourage people to get too riled up just yet. It was more about observing, more about, making sure that the technology is where it needs to be. Like I said, I was a little rushed today on that QQQ, but I did get in and I did get out. It's a profit. But I don't want to get people too riled up. And I know you guys are like, come on, man. I get it. I understand it. But I want you guys to trade for the rest of your lives. So I want to do things in a measured way, kind of baby steps. But just know, come January, we're going to be trading like I said, don't quote me. We're going to be trading for hours on ends. Why didn't you get in on the Apple? You just didn't jump in on?
Well, with the QQQ, I guess when I heard looking into a call, I was like, oh, okay, well, let me get set up on that. And it wasn't a clear message to me. I just, it's my first rodeo on these signals. And so then when I heard that you got in and out of a call on the Apple, I was like, oh, I guess I missed it already. Because it was so quick when you said I got in and out. So it's like, oh, damn, this thing is happening quick.
Yeah.
So it was unclear to me.
That's okay. And that's the thing, and I'm glad you're asking these questions because it gives me a chance to answer some questions. I'm a scalper, and in my mind, I want to trade, all the money. But the reality is, I prefer sleep. So a lot of times when I get in and get out, it's going to be in seconds. Apple was a good example. I just get in my account, I buy some contracts, and then what I do is I'll just wait to see the money and then I get out. I don't run it up. I just get out and I'm okay with them. So that's calm down, take a deep breath. When I enter into a trade, I'm just going to say, okay, I'm in, and then I'm out. And then I'm going to immediately go say something like this. For those of you who are still in this position, I'll let you know when I see the pre-trigger, like I did today. And then once I see the pre-trigger, it's up to the other people to make a decision and stay in the position or get out. And then I'll say, okay, I'll let you know when I see the first trigger. And then once I see the first trigger, if we have time, then we'll do a second trigger. And I don't foresee us ever having the time to do a third trigger, because the third trigger could literally take an hour to get out the position. So as we get more and more into it, even this week, we'll just knock down winning trades. And if we could just do 2 trades a week, which a day, that's 10 trades where you made money on each trade. So that's really what I want to do. And like I said, I even got a little too excited this morning. So I don't want to, for some of you guys know me, you know, I do have a tendency to go a little crazy and get excited. I want to make sure that I don't put myself in that position and be out here calling trades that aren't really, DLTC global signal trades. So it's not just for your protection, it's for my protection too, because I want to make sure that signals is above and beyond anything that anyone is doing. So we're just going to baby step it. Hopefully that makes sense to you.
Yes, thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Brother Vern?
Hey, Mr. T, can you hear me okay?
Sir. Yes, sir. I can hear you fine. Good morning to you. I can hear you.
Good.
Okay, good. So you got in and out today? You did okay?
Yeah, I did good. Got 23%. So that was a really excellent, just again, I'm looking forward to like everyone else. My quick question is, when you pick your strike price, are you getting in on the bid or the ask?
Okay, so that's a great question. And that kind of goes into the teaching, but I'll explain it to you. I'll pay a little bit more than what they're asking for, or I'll get in at market, right? So most of the time when I'm doing signals, I'm not really doing limit orders. I may do a limit order to get out because what we're trading is moving so fast. But the entry is usually market. So
it is. Okay.
Yeah, it's moving so fast. And like I said, the exit, I have to set a limit because they're so volatile. I don't want to get out and actually lose money because that can happen.
So market to get in, limit to get out?
Yep, that's what I do. Yep. And today, an example in the QQQ, I got in and went against me. Like I said, that was not a perfect DLTC global signals trade. I was a little excited. And then I just set my limit order and went over and traded Apple. In 2 minutes, I was out of that position.
Okay.
Yeah. But those aren't, you're very welcome. Even though that was a good look on QQQ, and someone asked me about the getting in a trade, the riskier trades, that was a good trade because I got in and got out in like 3 minutes. But I can't do that. The entry has to be perfect so that people who scalp like me can just rack up the wins. So that's another reason why I do my best. I didn't do it today to really wait for the perfect entry signal. Okay, Brother Michael.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get into the Apple, unfortunately, because I was so stuck on NVIDIA. So everyone who did get their presentations, congratulations.
Yes,
but the question I wanted to ask is, can you go into your own strike price if you can't afford what you say?
Yeah, okay, that's a great question. Once again, we're doing a little teaching here, but that's okay. What you'll want to do if the strike price is too high for you, you'll want to go down and find a strike price that has enough volume and open interest. And for those of you who are listening who aren't in a position right now to be able to afford, I don't even know what I pay for those. Oh, I pay $182. Who can't buy $182 contracts? we'll teach you how to find, Brother Michael knows how to find the cheaper contracts that have the volatility that he needs to get in and get out of the position. Yeah, if you're like, well, I can't, that's why I get too excited. That's why we didn't trade AMD. Our first look was on AMD, but I said, no, these contracts are too expensive. I had forgotten about that. And then we went over to QQQ because I know QQQ has some pretty inexpensive contracts. If I'm calling, we're only going to do about 4 companies. We're going to do NVIDIA, Apple, QQQ, and AMD. If you want to get in on a trade, but you're like, I can't really swing $1.87 premium, then just simply look down the contract and find a contract that has enough volume and open interest. And once again, I'm glad you asked this question because I know there are a lot of people out there who are looking and say, well, I can't afford $187. Well, we teach you in the pre-DLTC Global Signals presentations how to look for cheaper contracts, right? So did anybody get in that contract at a lower price and was able to get out of that Apple contract? I'm sure there were people because it ran for a while. Okay, so we have to remember though is that the further you get out of the money on a position, the more it has to move in your direction. Now, if you're trading Apple, if you're trading QQQ, if you're trading NVIDIA, the companies that AMD is especially fast. If you're trading those companies, you should be able to move down the chain and be able to get in a position that you can afford. And like I said, for all of those who are listening on YouTube and Facebook, we explain to you in great detail what that means. If you're thinking about, signing up for at least one day for $10. Hopefully I answered your question.
Yeah, most definitely. Thanks again.
All right. Mrs. Isaac?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
Good. So, my issue was I went into the Apple, like you said, and I got in for the 270, right? Mm-hmm. But a lot of other individuals that's on the chat, it didn't fill. So when I heard you were in and out, I went and I canceled it quickly.
Right.
So going forward in a situation like that, I should have just waited, correct? Or
that's a great question. And I'm glad you asked. When you are getting in a position and it's like as soon as you push the buy button, the price just jumps up and you don't get it for the price that you wanted to get it at. Just let it go. Just say, okay, I missed it. My entry was too perfect. Because took off.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah, so Krista, just wait for the next one. We could have traded. Yeah, we could have traded puts on this. We could have made money on the other side. We just didn't because today, but we will be doing that in January. So in January, you never have to worry about missing out on the position because first of all, we're going to trade all day. And secondly, you're going to get realistically at least 30 opportunities a day to trade. That's just on options. And then we got, like I said, I'm pretty confident we're going to bring Forex into the mix, which means you could trade at night. So you're good. Don't worry about missing an entry right now because I just wanted you to see how it works. I wanted to get it out there. I wanted to show people this is what signals looks like. So if you remember last week, I said, well, if you don't want to really take a chance, just paper trade the signals. If you're too risk averse. But I wanted to show you so that you can make a decision. You're in our DLTC class. You can make a decision if this is something you want to do next year, right? If I just said, hey, try signals without showing you, then you would say, I don't know. But if I show you what it's like, you'll say, oh yeah, I'm gonna take signals. I'm gonna do signals. So that's one of the main reasons we're doing this, as well as to make sure that we get sort of the infrastructure right. And I don't want to move too fast because I can get too excited too, and I know other people can get really excited. And as you know, when you're trading and you're too excited, a lot of times that means you're going to have a loss. you're gonna mess around, get a loss. So I want to do things in a measured way, a baby step, but don't worry about missing anything because you're never gonna really miss anything. And that's a mind hack, right? To where you're like, I just didn't get that trade, but we got 30 more trades to go before the day's over. So, and I'm just going to keep stacking my dollars. So that's what it's all about.
Okay. And my secondly, it was like the terminologies, but it was explained while we continued. You explained it because I was kind of confused on the pre-triggers and so forth.
Okay.
But I'm clear on it now. It was explained. Thank you.
I'm glad we're doing this so people can ask any questions they may have, and, get these questions answered and make sure everybody's where they need to be as we move forward.
Thank you, sir.
Very welcome. I don't know if Vaughn, if that hand is up from the last time, it could be. Make sure you guys take your hands down. They'll stay up and I'll get all mixed up. I can't take your hands down because I don't know why. Yes, I can. Oh, my bad. Yes, I can. I can do it. My bad. This is a.
Yes, I'm glad that you can. Yeah.
Okay.
Born Irish got his question answered.
I think.
I'm here right now. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm saying good morning to you guys.
Good morning.
Yeah, so I missed out on that trade as well from this morning on that. I got mixed up with the pre-trigger, but then you mentioned this now earlier about the chasing, and I chased the trade, and I'm still in trade at 233. I should have got out earlier, but I'm still in it right now. So
okay. So what was your buy-in price?
Buying price, the 270 call at 233.
Okay, you're in at 230. What is it right now?
204.
Okay, so I'm not telling you easy to get in or get out because that's certainly not what Signals is designed for. Well, actually it is, but once you're in a position, it's up to you to figure out, okay, I need to get out. Now, what I do when I make a mistake, I just say I shouldn't have done that, and then I do. And say, okay, I got to do a better job tomorrow. Whatever it was that led me into that position. But it's okay. If you chased it, that's fine. Just in the future, don't ever worry about missing anything because you're going to have more trades than you know what to do with. You're going to have so many trades. You're going to be like a lot of people show up, get their 2 trades, and they'll be like, all right, guys, I'm out of here. That's going to be you regardless of how many trades you need. You might say, oh, I'm going to get 10 trades a day. You're going to show up by 11 o'clock. You're going to have your 10 trades, and you're going to be like, all right, guys, stay cool. I'm out. So never worry about anybody who's listening. Never worry about missing anything. You're not going to miss anything when it comes to DLTC Global Signals. We're going to be trading. Everybody's going to be making money. Every trade I signal, I'm in that trade. So I'm getting up every day trying not to lose money just like everybody else. And I know if we continue this, we could trade until 3 o'clock all day, but I'm glad we're not because I can answer some of these questions.
Right. Gotcha.
Anything else, brother?
I think that'll be it. Yeah, I just missed out on that trade and because it didn't fill on Robinhood, so I canceled it and then I chased it on the next one. But now I understand the terminology of the pre-trigger and the first trigger. But you talk about you getting in on this trade at this call, and then you say the pre-trigger would be the trigger to get out almost. Or
okay. No, I'll go over it again for you. So when you're in a position, when I get in a position, it's going to be like it was today. Okay, it's setting up. Okay, it's setting up. Okay, I'm in. And then for me, it's usually like, okay, I'm out. All within 15 seconds. And then I'm going to say, okay, for those of you who are still in this position, I'll let you know when I see the pre-trigger and the first trigger. And then you just sit there and wait like we did today and say, okay, I see a pre-trigger. And it did pull back. And then it never got to the first trigger. I said, okay, I'll let you guys know when I see the first trigger. And then it ran up, and then we got the first trigger, but it kept going up as it triggered. And then some people said, well, I want to wait for the second trigger because they were up so much, and then they got out of the second trigger. So triggers are just for those people who don't scout. It's sort of an entry into all the money trading, to where you want more return. Right? You don't want to scalp. You want to get as much return safely as possible. So then that's why we came up with the triggers. First, the pre-trigger is the safest. The first trigger is a legitimate signal to get out. The second trigger, okay, you've taken on more risk. Now it looks like it's getting weaker than it was on the first trigger. The third trigger is like, okay, you're being silly now. Go ahead and get out this position. Preserve, because remember, it's all about preserving your profit. And if you're not careful, what will happen is you'll mess around and wait. You'll be up 100%, but you want to be 200%. I've had people do this, and they won't get out at 100%, and then it'll turn around and go all the way down. Now they're down. I've had a few people do that. So I don't want to tell people when to get out because I can never be right on that. I can tell them to get out and it keeps going up. I can tell them to stay in and it goes down. So people have to sort of develop their own risk tolerance. I will say this, I'm like 98. I don't know what I am over the last 3 months, but it's like 98 something percent. Well, that's because I scalp. So, and what people have a tendency to do is they feel like I'm not making these huge returns, so I'm not making any money. Well, what happens after that is you make smaller returns more frequently and then compound those returns. And if you can do that, then it's not as anxiety filled, right? Options are they're very emotional, full of anxiety. If you say, well, I'm just going to scalp more frequently and I'm going to get 10% a day or 30% a day, whatever your percentage is, profit, return. And then I don't mind if I do that on 10 3% trades or 130% trade. It's up to you, because we have both today. We have people who got 50%. We have people who scalped. So it's up to you to develop your risk tolerance on the exit. Thank you, Ms. Deere. 98.29 on signals so far since I think the first week in August. So, but that's because I scalped.
Gotcha.
Are you part of DLTC? I think you are.
Yes. I'm not DLTC yet because.
No, but you're in the class.
Yeah, I'm in the class. Yes, I'm with you guys.
Okay,
I'm with well, my lead is Miss LA Star.
Who?
Emma.
Oh, Mrs. Lestar.
Yeah.
So for you, it's all about first. Now this has nothing to do with signals, but since he's here and I'm here, for you, it's all about DLTC and just making sure that you're DLTC, and then just following the system. And then what'll happen is that will open up opportunities next year for you. But the rest of this year, it's all about making sure that you get that DLTC badge and just being patient and being focused in on what you're trying to do, and everything will work out for you. But everybody has to trade. Now I know for those of you who are listening, global signals, we call the signals, but some people are in the last DLTC class, and for some of you who are listening who've been through the DLTC, I'm very anal about people learning the system. So once you learn the system, then like magic, things are starting to.
Gotcha. I appreciate that, Mr. T. And then about I was watching those videos about where it's not the savings account where you take 50% of your powder on your trade, your cushion account. And what do you transfer it to? Like,
well, it depends. Yeah. I mean, and that's a great question that pertains to global signals. Like people make some money trading today. A cushion account this is a little different from a traditional cushion account. A cushion account is, okay, I made $10 today. I'm going to take 5 of it and move it over into my checking account, or I'm just going to put it somewhere that is not in my trading account. And the reason I came up with that years ago is because when you start taking money, a percentage of your profit, and putting it somewhere, well, now you're not risking it, number one. And secondly, you feel like a professional trader. And then once you feel like you're a professional trader, what usually happens is you start to act like you're a professional trader. And the larger that cushion account gets, the more you want to keep adding to it, right? So Robinhood has something called a spending account. Now, not everyone has that feature on their Robinhood, but if you're using Webull or any other platform, what you can do is you can just send that money to your checking account, or to your debit card. But you want to take a percentage of your profits and then move them over into a separate account. Because what happens is, if you do what you're supposed to do, and if it's a big word, what over the course of a year you look back on that and say, "Dog, I made that much money," and then now you're starting to say, "Okay, I can see. Okay, this actually works," and that helps you to maintain that your discipline as a trader.
Gotcha. Okay, that's better, a clear understanding on that. All right, that's pretty much all my questions. Appreciate it.
All right, have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Mrs. Bowen.
right.
I'm not even gonna try to pronounce your last name. Miss Miriam.
Miriam.
Okay.
Miriam.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. How you doing?
Good, thanks. Okay, so I have 3 questions. One of them I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyways.
Okay.
So we are not using global signals for our DLTC qualifications, correct?
That is correct. No, you can't
Okay.
do that. Yeah.
Right.
And I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole, which because like I normally do. Signals, the reason we're doing signals for the week is so that everyone sees it, so that they can make an informed decision on whether or not they want to continue in January. Another reason is so that we really needed to get the infrastructure together. We couldn't wait until January to get together. It's too late. So, and then the third reason is to put it out there so people might say, a lot of people are skeptical of me. So they just don't, no matter what I say, they don't believe I know how to trade. So it's a way to show them, okay, this brother knows what he's talking. So let me go ahead and at least try. So we're really doing this for 3 or 4 different reasons. So that's your first question. What's your second?
Okay. Yes. Okay. So are we setting limit prices when we're getting in on a trade? Do we just write it out and get out at market, or do we set a limit price, or how? I know you can't tell us everything to do, but I'm just saying, like,
okay,
what
I
are
can
different ways?
tell you what I do. I got in on both of those trades today. Where I got in at market because I'm trading very volatile company, very volatile tickers. I got in at market. I set a limit to get out because I was already up. If you don't set a limit and you get in and out at market, especially out, because you're dealing with companies that are extremely volatile, you might see, let's keep it simple. You may have gotten in at 95 and it's at $1. And by the time you push that market, it's down to 93. That's how fast it is. So what I would do, I will go in and set a limit order for what it's trading at, or maybe a penny less than what it's trading at. But I'm still in the profit because I'm trying to get out of that position immediately, right? So if you do market, you're taking on much more risk unless you're up like many people were today. And so this is a great question. If you're up 50%, yeah, go ahead and do market. Because you may lose a couple pennies, but you're already up, 50 cents on your premium. So you can afford to if it goes against you a nickel, that's okay. But as a scalper, I can't afford that, right? Because if it goes down 2 pennies, that might be all my profit. So I have to set a limit order to make sure that I get in and out of that position at a profit. So hopefully that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks. All right. And the last question is, for the rest of the week, should we expect 1, 2 trades? How many trades do you think
should expect 2 to 3 trades a day? And on Friday we'll have some real fun because we're dealing with 0-day expirations. But I'm not going to go full blast because a lot of you guys are still probationary traders, and I want you guys to focus on finishing DLTC class, but I want to give you a taste. So if we go all week, and I don't plan on having any losses, and then I tell you, are you going to continue in December? Are you going to continue next year? Most of you are going to say, of course I'm going to participate next year. But if I didn't show you that, you would say, I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to see it. So this is a way for you to see it. I don't want to run up 13 trades in one day or 15 trades in one day, because I don't want to get people so hyped that they start making mistakes. And the more emotional you are, the more likelihood that you'll make a mistake. And that goes for all of us, myself included.
Okay.
So hopefully that
Thank
makes
you.
sense. You're very welcome.
Yeah.
All right. Is that your last question? Is that it?
That's my last one. Thanks. You too.
Any other questions, guys? Before
Looks like we got them all.
Wow, good.
All right.
Good day. You want to add anything, Mrs. Crystal or Mrs. Jerry?
Not really. For those of you all who have technical issues, if you're watching from the outside and you're supposed to be in the Zoom, as I said before, community@dltcglobalsignals.com is what you need to contact to help you with technical support, because I am here, so I can't help, unfortunately, but hopefully all of those things get ironed out by the time Signals begins again tomorrow. Congrats to those of you all who made some money. This was wonderful. Thanks for being a great audience. And also for those on Facebook and YouTube, we look forward to seeing you in Signals for January. All right. Okay, well, that's all from me, Mr. T.
All right, Miss Jerry, you got anything? Miss Jerry runs a community in my network. I don't know if she's still on or not.
Yes, I am, but I'm playing technical in the background. From what I think, I'm good. I'm excited for everybody, for those who were able to get in. Now you all know when I say bigger than Bitcoin, you should understand. I've been testing since August. It is amazing, and even as you can see, how tight it is. Even if something doesn't go right, it's an in and out. You keep your risk management tight, those stop losses tight, but you also got to see all the money, which is amazing as well. But I hope that everyone enjoyed themselves, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Miss Jerry. Mrs. Pacquiao, Mrs. Crystal wants to sign up for, I don't know, I think this week's closed.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Mrs. Pacquiao, Jenny Pacquiao. She paid for January, but since it's on Facebook, people are like, well, I want to get in for the rest of the week too. So I don't know how you're going to handle that, but she's
we will see.
Yeah, so yeah, we're really trying to measure out how we grow this thing, because it's very expensive when you're working with corporations. They don't play. They want all their money up front for the year. So we're trying to be, smart when it comes to scaling the platform and scaling our capacity. So Mrs. Pacquiao, Mrs. Crystal, just get with Mrs. Crystal and she'll work with you on that. If there's any others out there in YouTube land or Facebook land, get with Mrs. Crystal and she'll work that out with you. I honestly don't know what's going on, and let me explain that. I really focus on trading, and I have to do that because I have a tendency to get too excited, and I don't want to do that because it will affect my trading. So a lot of what I do now and in January is just concentrating on trading. Mrs. Crystal is the admin person for DLTC Global Signals. Mrs. Jera is the community person for DLTC Global Signals. DLTC Global Signals will grow exponentially. We will have other people who are able to assist you with some of the things that you need to do in the system. But right now, we're trying to be very responsible when it comes to growing the capacity. We don't want to, go too crazy, because that's not only is that expensive, things start to break down. So we're just trying to be reasonable and responsible when it comes to scaling up. So hopefully that makes sense. All right.
Well, that's it for today. We
That's
look forward
great.
to seeing you all tomorrow in Signals and in the daily lives.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Same to you.